the time. We have a lot of people that watch after the fact. Because they know that we aren't,
timely.
we're not interactive.
Yep.
And because we're not interactive, then most people catch it after dinner, or something like that, which is perfectly fine with me. I actually prefer that than somebody watching live, because then it's like, we probably should talk to them.
It's like, oh, there's comments. What do
Well,
we say?
trying to read them, all those comments is distracting anyway.
Yeah, it really is.
Like one time Elena started telling us about how she was redoing her bathroom, and then I started talking about that. Peggy's just looking at me like, what are you doing? I was like, Elena said she was redoing her bathroom.
We got way off.
Okay,
Needless
no more
to say.
comments.
So that's why Mercedes' phone is the one that we set over there. Alright. I can't see who that is. There's two people, one of them's me. 8. Let me find this right quick, then we'll get started. Luke goes into a lot of detail too, Mercedes.
Luke was a doctor. Very detailed one.
Yeah, he talks about it.
John was a storyteller.
Yeah.
Matthew was the tax collector, wasn't he?
I believe so.
So he's probably the one that doesn't give any details.
Very cut and dry.
Not a lot of heba haba.
Yeah.
Alright, well I can't find it, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, good evening everyone. I know y'all been sitting there staring at us for a minute, but I'm sorry, I was looking for something and I didn't find it, so it'll be alright. Welcome to our Bible study tonight. Hello. I believe that's the bat call.
I don't know when that phone got put in here.
Anyways, the red phone's ringing and flashing. Isn't that what they have?
Mhm.
Anyways, sorry. We've been sitting here chatting for a while, and we may have been a few minutes late getting on, but it's okay. I'm Vicky, as I hope you remember, and I hope you remember Mercedes down there. Tonight we have the wonderful and beautiful Miss Jackie Stewart with us. We are also coming to you. Oh wow! We are also coming to you from the Whitman Memorial Baptist Church. We are in the workroom / lounge / workroom. It's kind of nice in here though.
It's a double workroom.
Yeah. There's a lot of work things.
Naps happen in here too.
Nap room.
That's my favorite kind of room.
But we want to thank Jackie for coming up here tonight and meeting us to do Bible study tonight. From taking time away from your family, and because I know you just hate that so much, and coming up here, coming up here and hanging out with me and Mercedes for a little while. So Miss Jackie, if I might ask, what is the verse that you have chosen for us to study tonight? Is it your go-to verse, or is it just a verse that you've chosen?
Well, it's a verse that I keep with me all the time. Mark 9:24. Immediately the father of the boy cried out, "I do believe. Help my unbelief." What do you want me to say about it?
Go ahead. Is that how it reads? Is that the?
Yeah, that's
Holman?
Yeah, that's the Holman.
Okay.
It's so, if you were raised in the church, you know, you've been told all your life that God can do anything. You know, just pray and God can do anything. But then when it's time to put that belief into action, it's really hard sometimes to believe that, you know, that he can really do it. It's like a head knowledge, but it's difficult to make it a heart belief.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking heart knowledge.
Yeah.
Head knowledge,
And
easy.
heart, yeah.
Heart knowledge, hard.
Yes, very.
Because we like to be in control.
Yes. And it's very difficult to not be in control.
Because we like to say what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because we think we got everything. We think that our way is the best way.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I've heard people say that when you pray, you know, Lord, please do this, but your will be done, that's a cop-out, and it means that you don't actually believe it. Which could possibly be subject for an entire another day, I don't know.
Well, that alone, I mean, if people think that that's a cop-out, then you're denying the fact that he's sovereign.
Yeah.
True. Because, you know, I've done told the story 100 times about how I was praying all through the years of my husband and his drinking until that one day I realized that I was praying for what I wanted and not for what the Lord wanted in my husband's life. And then I had to pray for that and believe that the Lord would follow through with that.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah.
Because it takes faith.
Mm-hmm.
It takes obedience in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
It takes obedience, period. Not just in prayer.
Yeah.
So, Mercedes, I know you got another verse to go to.
Well, if you go up one to verse 23, then Jesus said to him, if you can, everything is possible to the one who believes. Well, that throws me, first thing my brain went to when I saw that was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because as long as you have Christ, those things, you know, whether or not, like she said, whether or not it happens in the way of what you want it to, or you think it should, you know, things will be handled.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to believe.
You still have to believe, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And have the faith.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What if you don't, though?
Well, then you got a problem.
I mean, honestly, let's look at it. I mean, seriously, the thing is that, I mean, we are sitting here in the midst of, which we were talking about this COVID thing. And, y'all, I know nobody wants to, I know that we're not supposed to be talking about it and this, that, and the other because it's just a bunch of hoopla hoorah. But my daughter has been testing positive for a solid month. And she don't have it no more. So my thing is that there's a problem somewhere. And if I were in her shoes, I would get to the point that I just don't believe.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about it logically.
Been there where you've been hit so many times with crap over and over and over and over.
You get up and you start running and you hit the same brick wall.
You get to the point where you start shaking your fist.
Yeah.
And you get up again and you run into the same brick wall over and over and over.
Or no matter which way you turn, you run into a brick wall.
The same brick wall, it gets moved, you know. That's not fun.
It is not.
Mercedes,
Yes.
will you read for me Matthew 17, 14 through 20.
When they reached the crowd, a man approached and knelt down before him. Lord, he said, have mercy on my son, because he has seizures and suffers severely. He often falls into the fire and often into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they couldn't heal him. Jesus replied, you unbelieving and rebellious generation, how long will I be with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring him here to me. Then Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of him, and from that moment the boy was healed. Then the disciples approached Jesus privately and said, why couldn't we drive it out? Because of your little faith, he told them. For I assure you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will tell this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. 21. However, this kind does not come out except by prayer and fasting.
Same story.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in Mark. A little bit more of it, though. The disciples didn't have enough faith. Is that what y'all got out of that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
Well,
when I first read it, it seems like he's talking to the Father, and like and my first thought is, what is he doing that's rebellious and unbelieving? Because he brought the boy to them. I mean, he obviously believes, but then when you go down a little further, it's obvious that he was talking to the disciples, and that had to be. They had to feel a little slapped by that.
Little slap.
A little.
That was a turn your head slap.
I joked earlier when we were talking about this about, I wonder if anybody's read that and ran up to the mountain and yelled at it to move.
She did say that.
I did.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, every time I've read that, it's one of those, it's a metaphor. It's for like an impossible, what seems to be an impossible task. That it's, not impossible as long as you have faith in God, and even if it's out of a mustard seed.
Well, let me ask you this, Mercedes. And Jackie.
I'm not here. I'm just.
If they didn't have, if their faith was as small as a mustard seed, did the disciples not have that much faith?
Well, he was there with them all the time. He was normal to them. It's, what is it?
That's okay. I pray for it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like they probably saw him so much that
They didn't think anything about it.
yeah.
Well, I know that my faith has not always been the strongest. But I'll tell you one thing. In the past 2 years, what I have seen with my own 2 eyes, the Lord do right in front of me, it's incredible. It's amazing. It will leave you speechless. And there is nothing, honestly, nothing that I have prayed for that He has not shown favor in me in my prayer. Nothing.
we as humans, we doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you have faith without doubt?
Well, yeah. I mean, it can't be faith unless there is some element of doubt involved.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I used to, you okay?
My hair was getting on my pen and my glasses. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's like I used to tell my son, you can't be brave if you're not afraid. In the same way, you can't really have faith that there's not some element of doubt, because if you have the proof so that there is no doubt, then there's no need for faith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just like when Jesus was talking to, who was it? Told him to step out of the boat and walk towards them. They were on water.
Mm-hmm.
And
Paul.
Peter.
Thank you. I knew it was a P.
You don't know who walked on water?
Oh, sorry. It's been a long day. Anyway.
We will do that discussion another night.
But you know, he told Peter, get out of the boat and walk towards me on the water. And Peter started out strong and then started losing it, and he started doubting, he started sinking.
It's when he took his eyes off the Lord is when he started falling back into the water.
Yep.
That's why they say don't ever take your eyes off of him. You take your eyes off of him, you're going to start going.
But then again, he's the only one that had the faith to get out of the boat in the first place.
True, but you still got to keep your face.
Yeah.
Keep your face that way.
Unless he's standing over there.
If he's this way, keep your face that way. Oh.
And also, like in 23, Jesus said to him, he says, the Father said to Jesus, if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said to him, if you can, everything is possible to the one who believes. I always pictured Jesus going, if you can? Do you know who you're talking to?
Excuse me. Do you know who this is?
You brought him to me for a reason.
Right. I'm not a disciple. Right. You know, and Luke, that it doesn't, I thought Luke would really knock it out of the ballpark, but he didn't.
Mm-mm. Yeah, really, Mark has more detail than anything in this one.
Because Luke just says, but Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit, cured the boy, and gave him to his father.
Yeah.
Luke, you let me down. Well, you know, all of this, and you know, a lot of 85% of our Bible studies have been directed towards faith.
I'm not surprised at that.
Faith and grace.
Yeah.
And it's two of my favorite things to talk about. I love talking about the grace of the Lord.
Yeah.
Because he has shown me mountains of grace. But my faith has grown very much, a whole lot, in the, like I said, in the last couple of years. At the age I am, I hate to say that,
Your senior expenses.
with my senior expenses, I got a phone call right before I started a job. Somebody wanted to help me with my senior expenses. Like,
She did just get done saying she was old.
funeral cost.
She's old.
Anyways, I wanted to tell him I'm not leaving this earth till the Lord says so. And even at that, I'm having it at the church.
Yeah.
So, I did tell Pastor Jeff, though, I said, I have to die before you do because you have to do my funeral and I don't want to speak at yours. I said, so that's the deal. But, you know, it's, faith is so hard. And Mercedes is, I'm going to use you as an example because I have watched your faith be like a roller coaster ride.
This felt like a roller coaster ride. Pearl bag and all.
She will go up, and then she'll come back down. Then she'll go back up, then she'll go back down. And everybody does it. Nobody is excused.
There's gonna be ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing this
And not doing this.
or flatlining it.
If you're going in a straight line, you're dead.
Well, but she was doing this, and she was digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But I had a wise person tell me, let her dig her ditch because she now knows how to get out. And she did. She did. So now I've told her, no more heading in that direction. We're just going to keep doing it. Even if it's just little small ways upwards, we're going to still keep going upwards.
Yep.
But again, it is difficult sometimes, especially with today's world. I do believe that there are a lot of people that they're holding on to their faith, and that's all they got. I also believe that there are lots of people out there that sometimes they question their faith.
Been there.
Y'all both have done that?
Yeah.
Haven't you? Stop it. Me too. But it's just that human. It's the flesh. It's the sin that we have lived in that allows us, or that makes us question it. Because in all honesty, I used to sit back and think, because I'll be honest with y'all, my 20s, I was roaring. It was
There's a reason why I call them my young and stupid years.
it was the Lord definitely was watching out for me. I should have ended up dead several times in several situations I was in. But I didn't. And I sit back and I think about this stuff. And then I start thinking, why would he even consider me a child?
Yeah.
Then that's when the faith starts getting smaller and smaller, because then you start looking at yourself instead of you looking at yourself the way that the Lord looks at you. So I'm so glad to know that I'm not the only one. Jackie, you had some fun times in your past?
I'm glad it was before the internet.
Girl, tell it. Say it again. I tell you what, I remember MySpace came out.
Oof.
I was
I know.
married.
Yeah. I remember MySpace a little bit. I didn't like it.
I was like, this is not much fun, but okay, I'll do it. Because, that's the thing that everybody was doing.
Yeah.
But,
That was back in the early days.
I had.
what?
You're just a
Yeah.
baby.
You had a MySpace?
Yeah.
When you were what, 8?
No. It was.
She said 5.
It was middle school. It was middle school. It was middle school.
Okay, well, I did say it was my second marriage. Probably with my third child.
I never used it because it was like I thought it was kind of dumb too. But
But I just you just sit back and but you're right. I'm so thankful that I got all of that behind me before the internet got really. Girl, on these phones we have,
Oh, Lord Almighty.
I'd be in so much trouble.
And your Google sitting there in your house, and your Alexa sitting there in your house listening to every word you say.
I don't have one of them. I
I
don't
don't
want
either.
nobody hearing me.
I don't either. I keep trying to explain to my daughter that it's not just listening to you when you're talking to it. She doesn't get it.
I don't even think I want a smart TV.
I don't.
I don't want a TV that can look at me. I need to look at it.
My laptop has a Band-Aid over the camera.
So, Mercedes, I guess we're showing our age. Look at Mercedes!
But
Yeah.
When you sit there and think about stuff that you've done in your past and how in the world can God look at me as his child? I mean, look at David and what he did. And he's called all through the Bible a man after God's own heart. Look at Peter.
Denied him 3 times. Judas betrayed him.
Look, Paul killed Christians before he became one.
But still, I did all those drugs.
Saul. I mean, Saul was not that great of a king. I mean,
No.
he did some crap things.
Well, he started out good. But
He started out good, and then tried to kill David for a few years.
Yeah.
And then Solomon ended up, being enticed by
his wicked women.
other women that worship
blah,
other
blah.
gods, and you
Yeah.
know, after being specifically told, don't do this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess you're right. I guess it's been done all throughout history, huh?
Eve.
Eve.
Excuse
Yeah,
me, where was
Adam
Adam
and
when
Eve.
where was Adam when the snake was tempting Eve?
Not doing his job, saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, Eve,
Yeah,
hey, don't do it."
Probably not the dishes.
Probably not.
writing his name in the snow.
Writing his name in the snow. That's a good one, Jackie. I just got it. She's late.
It's been a long day.
She's just a baby.
So, I love these wow moments. I really do.
I've always said, it says she turned to Adam who was with her.
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah.
And the reason is we take pride in showing him glory, and we take pride, or we should be taking pride, into honoring his commandments. And I know that we don't do it as we should daily. Trust me,
course
I
not.
fall on my face every day.
And he knows that you are.
Yeah, I'm like Mercedes electrocuting herself.
That was not fun.
But I mean, you know,
Very shocking experience.
we're supposed to at least give it our good old gusto.
Yeah.
And repent. So do y'all repent daily?
Try to.
Yeah. Try to.
I find myself sometimes, like, I'll be at work and I'll be thinking of something, or like I had a thought, like, or I was in a conversation with somebody else. I find myself sometimes doing it like a couple of times a day. Is that too much?
Never ever.
There are some times where I'm like, I'm going through and I go, yeah, I'm sure I've screwed up today at some point, and probably so much that I don't remember everything that I screwed up on. So, forgive me for all of those things that I may not remember or notice.
You're not supposed to not be able to remember. That's my job.
Because you're old.
I'm old. Remember, they're trying to plan my funeral.
Yes.
Remember that.
I'll think I'm having a good day, and then I hear one of my children or my husband walk down the hall, and I immediately have to repent.
Because of the thoughts you have? Jackie.
Hey, I know I'm not the only one.
No.
I know.
My kids are grown now, though. But I went through those years.
Yep.
And it'll get better.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
At the moment.
You have lovely children.
I do. They are awesome. And I have to remind myself daily that their bad is really, really good for a lot of kids.
Right. Yes. You need to thank the one above.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That is so true, because there's some bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but if y'all haven't noticed already, I'm the only one with my hair color.
Your hair color.
I feel really left out.
Well, you
There's
can
a way to solve them.
Yeah, you can go see Miss Deborah, and she can help you join the Kool-Aid Brigade.
Kool-Aid Brigade. If I show up here one week with some off-colored hair, don't say nothing. I was really trying just to let it all go silver. I've tried to color it silver, it didn't work. Well, I have really, really enjoyed this 30 minutes. We've actually been here an hour. Not live for an hour, but we've actually been chatting.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
We've been here an hour and a half chatting.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, I have not ever read Mark 9:24. I mean, I've read it, but I've not zoned into it. So I want to thank you for bringing that to my attention, to our attention tonight. It is one that I think during this time, many people need to look at. Because the faith that you have is going to show in how you live.
Mm-hmm.
And if your faith is this big, that's not the right words. If you have this much faith, if you have this much faith, it's going to show.
Yeah.
It's really going to show. And in all honesty, I believe we're coming close to a time, just as Pastor Jeff feels the same, that because he preaches it all the time, that there's going to be a day that we're just going to have each other.
Yeah.
And we're all that we're going to be able to lean on, look to for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all keep your faith going this way for me.
It's okay if it goes down as long as it comes back up.
Mm-hmm. Don't let it go too far down.
No.
Yeah, if we didn't have each other, you know, we wouldn't be able to bear all of this by ourselves.
Mm-mm.
Lift ourselves up, like, that's really hard to do when you're already in a
rut.
Rut.
Well, you know, there's one good thing about hitting rock bottom. Only one way to go.
Back up. That's if you bounce.
Bounce.
I would.
Keep one.
I would bounce.
Yes.
You did down the stairs that one time that
I
you fell.
did. Getting ready for the WOW dinner that night. Jackie, we came upstairs, we went upstairs to get the stuff, to come back downstairs to prepare for our first WOW dinner. And I couldn't, it was dark. They came down these steps and I came down those steps beside the pastor's office. And there weren't any lights on. And I just missed 2 steps.
Oh.
And I went flat down. But it was okay, because I bounced down those 2 steps.
I've done the same thing on those stairs.
Yeah,
I
breeze.
just didn't bounce. I just fell in.
I went down a flight of stairs the hard way one time, and I didn't bounce. I just broke lots of stuff, so that just makes me cringe.
Oh, I bounced.
Yeah, I wish I had bounced.
I have a lot to bounce off.
I think my head bounced off the floor.
Oh, I didn't do
It was
that.
bad.
But I mean, at least none of the dishes and stuff got broken.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
And the dinner went off like a bang.
It did. None of us even knew about it.
Right. I was just kind of walking funny the next day. But anyways, thank y'all for coming. I'm sorry we got a little sidetracked
That's
chatting.
okay.
But that's what we do. We're women.
That's a sexist stereotype.
Whatever. I'm a woman, so are you. And I'm proud of that. I want to thank y'all for coming
Wait,
tonight.
so am I.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Hey,
you were here for a
funny.
minute. I forgot you were here. You were so quiet. What was you doing over there?
Just reading,
Zoning.
zoning out, reading, you know.
Thanks for coming tonight, Jackie. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming.
for having
me. Maybe we can have you back again.
Possibly. I have lots of verses that I like.
She has lots of verses. It's a plan. So thanks for coming tonight, guys. See y'all later. See you next Thursday.
Bye.
This has been a wow moment.
Oh yeah, sorry.